What is the mind? Now, this is a new audio series by Bhaskar Joshi, myself. I have been a seeker of New Age philosophy since 1988, and I work as a life devotee of New Age philosophy for 4 years in ashram from 91 to 95, and in last 25 years, I did number of experiments regarding this concept of mind. So now I am going to share some experiments, experiences, and some fundas about this whole concept of mind. Now, a lot of people are listening my audios in Marathi, English, and Hindi, and they are sending some questions and queries. Whenever I talk to people about New Age philosophy or the mind, the prediction, forecast, analysis, or when I tell them that I'm a mind resonance analyst, they often ask me the question, what is mind, what is resonance? And the problem in explaining this subject is that if you want to know about it, you have to have some basic understanding or concept or basic some references or knowledge or you know some sort of information at least, not knowledge, information, so that I can explain the things. Nowadays, if you go to the Google and YouTube, the quantum mechanics, which is the most difficult to explain and to understand, more difficult, is explained for 9-year-old child also, even for dummies. There is a quantum mechanics for dummies, for beginners, for scientists. Unfortunately, the New Age philosophy, which I follow, and which Swami Vidyanananda, who used to call himself as the founder, I used to call him as experimenter of New Age philosophy. He never called himself as a Swami or as in a general term, as a God man. He never treated him like that. He had no disciples. We are not Swamiji disciples. Neither he was our guru. So, in a sense, he was experimenter, and to some extent, I tried to follow him as a mind experimenter in my own capacity. I did my best. I tried my best. I mean, I can say that much at least. So, but the point is that the institution which was founded by Swamiji, that is Rest New Age Trust, which is popularly known as Manashakti Research Center. Swamiji had published a lot of books, but there is no clear cut documentation of New Age philosophy. There are hundreds of references which are scattered across the books and audio tapes and articles and debates and discussions, but nobody has tried to make a documented history of New Age philosophy, what exactly it is. And New Age philosophy is all about mind. And when I talk about the mind, 99% people think it as a psychological term. Because when it comes to mind, we think about the psychology, right? Now, New Age philosophy does deal with the psychology, right? But actually, New Age philosophy deals the human life in the context of mind by referring physiology to physics and psychology to cybernetics. Now, here is the twist. No other philosophy in the world has been explained or has explained. I don't say whether they got success or not. That's not the issue, because we are not talking about the comparison or you know the what is the good and bad and something like that with other philosophies. But New Age philosophy has very uniqueness. It explains the mind, the human mind, in the context of universal mind, and also how the mind interact with each other. At the same time, how the laws of nature apply to mind. And that is very intriguing. That is very, very interesting. Now, most of the time, our language, which is a very different kind of terminology we use, so people get confused, and it is very difficult. I understand to know New Age philosophy. If you want to listen to or understand New Age philosophy, you have to attend Swamiji's classes, read books, and that's quite a difficult task. So it may be one of the reasons that our seekers, life devotee, could not, you know, develop designs, some audios, videos, or documentaries on New Age philosophy. That could be the reason, and that's why if you put the word New Age philosophy in Google, there is no authentic information about New Age philosophy as such. Now, in last 25 years, whatever work I have done, I could experience, analyze case studies, experiences, understanding of life. I think now I'm little bit become my mind has little bit trained or capable to explain the New Age philosophy to a common people. So this is my an honest attempt to explain New Age philosophy to common people, those who do not know the fundamentals of science or philosophy or medical science. Now, New Age philosophy is about new way of life. It is also stands for Newton's plus Vedas. New stands for Newton and way for Vedas, and it's also new way of life. Now, New Age philosophy was a brainchild of Swami Vidyananda, but Swami Vidyananda never treated himself as a prophet or the originator of this or the creator of this philosophy, because he himself treated as or projected as the experimenter. All he had summarized his his ideology in very short term, that life is all about experiment. There is a destiny, there are some things are which are coded in the nature, there are certain laws, but the human mind has amazing ability, capacity of reprogramming and programming itself to create a new reality, to create new future, to heal yourself. And fortunately, when Swamiji started this work in 1958, when he first time defined mind in the context of speed of light, which is very unique, which is first time in the human history. This concept was not popular by that time. Most of the psychologists, physiologists, scientists used to deal the mind subject as a in terms of psychology, psychiatry, or medical sciences. But Swamiji was the first person who defined the mind in the context of speed of life, speed of light. Now, we will talk about this mind, how it works inside the body, outside the body, how mind to mind connect works, and I will try my best to explain in simpler terms, but I cannot you know lose the grip over the subject, because then it will be unscientific. So I have to balance the things. So I will try my best to explain the mind in terms of physics, physiology, and other science, other branches of science. But at the same time, I will also try my best to explain how I did experiments with mind, and what are its properties, how mind has amazing abilities, and why we experience weird things when it comes to mind. Now, fortunately, when I mentioned this word fortunately, in last 10, 20 years, there has been much interesting, thrilling experiments are going on in the Western world mostly, which is a very research-based community, especially in America and European countries, and they are finding very interesting and amazing things about mind. And a lot of doctors, scientists, quantum physicists are working on this concept of mind. Now there are a lot of some new branches are also emerging, like quantum mind, quantum consciousness. And this word consciousness is a new buzz in this Western world. Now, most of the scientists are agree on this concept that consciousness is not matter. Okay. Now, what is matter? Now, we'll go to the definition of the matter. But this the definition of matter itself has changed in the last 300 years. Initially, the matter was that which occupies the space. But over the 300 years, the definition of matter has changed. And keeping the that changed definition of matter, Swamiji in 1958 defined mind, which is non-matter, in the context of latest definition of matter. Albert Einstein, one of the most celebrated scientists, most intelligent person of the 20th century, had said that matter cannot cross the speed of light. E is equal to mc square. What is the most famous equation of the science, or the history of science, most famous equation. Now, what he explained is that now you can Google what is E is equal to mc square and all these things. You can see very simpler terms. You can understand that. I'm not going in every detail because it's not possible to explain me to every term. How these scientific discoveries used by Swamiji to explain mind, that is my focus. Okay. So Swamiji said that in 1958 he had a detailed correspondence with Dr. Brokaw, Dr. Brodaw in Moscow Scientific University of USSR. And what mind means, he has explained this correspondence in his book, What Mind Means. Swamiji had made a postulations that mind can cross the velocity of light, the speed of light. Now, a sun rays, when starts a journey from the surface of sun and it reaches to earth, it takes 8 minutes. It means the speed of light is almost 3 lakh kilometer per second. It is 298 something, but 3 lakh kilometer, it's round figure, take the round figure, okay, per second. Now, the sunlight which has started its journey from the surface of the sun to reach the earth, it takes 8 minutes. But Swamiji made a postulation, submit a postulate that he made a theory that if you see the sun, now seeing sun itself is a contradiction. See the sun, it doesn't take even a fraction of a second, and that's why mind is faster than the velocity of light. So he made a definition. What is mind? That which transcends the velocity of light, which cross the velocity of light. That was his whole argument. We'll talk about it in next audio. Sorry.